What if you lived your life like they're making a documentary of your life? One day, when you're 80 years old, log into Netflix, and there it says, the life of, and it's you. It's you. And they have footage from today. They have footage from today. And they interview different people in your life about what changed. How did you get to be this world-class leader, this author, this life-changing inspirational figure? And people are interviewed. Your sister, your spouse, and your best friend growing up, and maybe an old teacher from high school, and they say, did you see it in her? Did you see it in him? And they say, she seemed normal. She seemed just one of us, just a normal person. And then something changed, and something changed. And they point to this day, today. They point to this day, or this year. They say, back in 2020, whatever, back in 2027, back in 2029, something changed. It's just like, she just didn't want to take it anymore. She just decided that this is the year to go for it. She wrote that book. She started her podcast. It's like, it didn't change overnight, but something started to happen. We all got to see it. At first, we didn't think it was a big deal. She just wrote her book and sold a couple hundred copies, but that wasn't the only one. It's like, all of a sudden, but not all of a sudden. All of a sudden, but not all of a sudden. All of a sudden, things changed, but actually all of a sudden, it was a slow build. Can you picture it? Last night, my wife and I were getting ready for good friends that were coming over tomorrow. And so last night, we were going through a bunch of our boxes in the basement, just arranging things. And my wife found this assessment that I took the spring before we got married. It was an interest assessment. It was like a career styles assessment. And it was so interesting because the recommendations it made, what industry I could work in, what I scored highest on, are literally the things I'm doing today. And what it actually took, that was 24 years ago, what it actually took over 24 years, it's just an unpeeling of the onion, an unraveling of the different layers to actually lean in and do the thing it said. It talked about creative arts. It talked about interest in religion. I'm going to call it that, but interested in Christianity. It talked about being a revolutionary personality, like a groundbreaker, somebody who starts something, somebody who doesn't take no for an answer. It talked about leadership. And so I scanned all the results, and then I put it into AI and I said, okay, know what you know about me now. How accurate is this? And it was like, not only is it accurate, but it's super eerie. It also had guardrails, and I've learned that those are the guardrails I have in my life, which is also interesting. But that's what I wanted to share with you. Think about if somebody right now was making a movie about your life. If somebody was following me today, what would they see? They'd say, oh, look at what he's doing. I know where that leads. Because when they're watching the documentary of your life, they know the ending. They know the ending. There's all these documentaries I want to watch. I don't watch most of them because I already know the ending. There's no intrigue to what happens at the end. You already know the end. There's intrigue to how does she get there? How did he get there? What were the humble beginnings? Where did it all start? How did insert famous name become famous name? I saw a little clip of an interview, and it was talking about one of the world's most famous media people. And this person was in a couple TV shows before they became who they are. And the interviewer was asking the co-star of this little TV show I'd never even watched, did you think this person would be who they are today? And the co-star said, she always had it in her. Of course. You could see little seeds of it. So what are the little seeds that somebody could see in your life right now? What are the seeds you planted yesterday, a year ago? What are the seeds you need to plant today to grow the garden for your legacy? If somebody were following you around and documenting your journey, if your kids, this will hit me, if my kids in 30 years from now, when I'm 78 years old, turning 80, if my kids were contacted by a media company and they said, we want to make a documentary on the life of Brian Dixon, who he was and how he started and how he became who he is, do do you have any footage? They'd say, a lot. How much do you want? There's tons of external hard drives. There's tons of DVDs and CDs and cassette tapes and VHS tapes. And the question is, could you cut these together? Could you edit these together because they're leading somewhere? Or does it seem random? What makes the difference? What makes the difference between somebody who lives a life that they would literally pay to create a documentary of, and somebody who doesn't? I think it's simple. It's the success formula. It's consistent effort in the same direction over time multiplied by God. I stole that from Dave Ramsey. Continuous effort in the same direction. And so looking at the life of Brian, book publisher, Christian media mogul, guy who celebrates the hope that we have and trains people on how to share your hope. What's the steps? How did he get to where he is? The way he got to where he is he took today seriously, tomorrow seriously. Every single day he delivered. He took action. He didn't quit. He didn't give up. He kept moving forward. He was misunderstood, abandoned. We talk about life, L-I-F-E. He was let down. Has that happened? Amen. Yes. He was let down. He was isolated. He was on his own. He failed a lot. And there are a lot of endings, things that ended in his life. And yet, where did it all lead? Where did it all lead? That's why you're watching the documentary. You're watching the documentary because of who he became. And the Bible says, shine your light before all men so they'll see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Shine your light before all men. So what if you're shining your light right now? If there were a documentary crew following you around, watching your humble beginnings, leading to all men, literally like world famous. I actually believe this, and this is really controversial. I think the best thing that you can do as a Christian author is get as famous as possible. The best thing you can do as a Christian speaker is get as famous as possible. Because the more famous you are, the more people know your name. And the more people that know your name, if out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, out of who you are living a Christ-like life, people will know the name of Christ because they know your name. And my job is, of course, to shine my light, of course, to preach the gospel, of course, to share the reason for the hope that I have. And the way to do it in this culture, very tricky, the way to do it in this culture is for people to know who you are. For when they see your good works, right? When they see you, they'll say, wait a second, there's something about him, there's something about her. I think about celebrity. It's not go be a Christian celebrity, but it's go be someone who delivers so much value that people say, I love your work. I love your work. Create work that people love. Create work that people love. And what will happen is when you have an opportunity, which you do every day, but when you have an opportunity to say, the reason for the hope, you say it with gentleness and respect, the reason for the hope is here. Look at Jesus. He's the reason for my hope. People go, what? It's not about you. It's not about your political cause. It's not about your social justice. It's about Jesus, really? And then they go, if Brian Dixon goes to church, I might try that out. Think about who in culture, there's not that many, but there are a few people in culture that are known for their good works. They're known for their fantastic movie, their amazing music, their great writing. And you go, oh, they're a Jesus follower? Maybe I need to learn about that more. Of course, some get pigeonholed and now they're in this the Christian ghetto, and they're only allowed to be this big, right? And I know that's something that you fight. You get pigeonholed into, oh, you're too Jesus-y for the mainstream. That's okay. I'm great with that. That's okay. But what happens is when you shine your light, when you create great work, when you create something remarkable, people remark about it. It's able to be remarked about. And so how do you do this? How do you live a life that's worthy of a documentary? You're already living it. You're already living it. The question is, are you being intentional about it? So what does it look like to be wise? Because is this a good idea? I don't know. Teach us to number our days so we might gain a heart of wisdom. Number our days. If I have 30 years left, if literally in 30 years, my children need to go collect all the media to give to the company to make the documentary, and the way that I live my life over the next 30 years is one that becomes worthy of somebody actually saying, yeah, let's put that on Netflix. People would watch that. Then what does that look like today? What does that look like today? I think that looks like swinging for the fences. That looks like taking a big risk. One of my heroes is Truett Cathy from Chick-fil-A. And it took him 4.5 years to perfect the chicken recipe. 4.5 years. And so if you're in your pre-Chick-fil-A day and you're just running a dwarf house, this little diner, trying to figure out the recipe, not even sure where this is going to lead, but you're being faithful of every day, that's the documentary. Wouldn't it be so interesting? I don't know if this exists, but wouldn't it be so interesting to watch the vlog, watch the Truett Cathy videos of him going, oh, it's like day 187 and I haven't figured out the chicken recipe yet. And then you see his mindset, you see the things he's tried, and you can see the crazy things he's tried. That's the opportunity we have with social media. That's the opportunity we have with YouTube. That's the opportunity we have with Facebook, because you do have a documentary crew following you around. That documentary crew following you around is in your pocket. It's your phone. What I'm talking to you right now, you have a phone with you all the time, and you can document the journey. A lot of people say this, I don't know even who to quote about it, but marketing people have said, document, don't create. Instead of just, what am I going to say today? Just hit record and share what the Lord is teaching you. And as you do that, you're like, oh, I shared what I learned yesterday. What am I going to learn today that I can share? What am I going to learn today that I can share? How can I create a life that's remarkable? A life that's share worthy. Not just me sharing, but people wanting to share it with other people. That's what it looks like. And the way that they share it, yeah, sometimes it's in a book. That's what we do. We help you write your story and publish your book. Sometimes it's on YouTube. Sometimes it's on Facebook. It's a podcast. It's word of mouth. Did you hear about? Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Sometimes it's a conference. What if that is the way that you approach life? To say, I'm going to document the journey because I know the reason that I have, the reason for the hope that I have, and I know I'm here for a limited time. And my job is Great Commission. My job is to go into all the world and preach the gospel. And I have this tool in my pocket to post as a Christian. I have this tool in my pocket to share the reason for my hope. And wouldn't it be cool if someone one day took all those little clips and put them together and said, look at the fruit. Look at this orchard that grew from the little seeds that were scattered and then cared for. And you can do that starting today. So what does that look like for you? One day you'll be 80, pending your death or Jesus's return, you'll be 80 years old. And so what does your 80-year-old birthday look like? What's the documentary that they would play at your 80-year-old birthday? You get to make that decision today. Make the most of every day. Make the most of today, because you've got a limited time to make a big difference. I hope that encourages you today. Listen, you have a story to share. If you need help sharing your story, book a call with our team, hopebooks.com/call. We would love to talk with you about your story and about writing and publishing your book. Life's too short to go to the grave with your song still in your heart. It's time to start sharing your story.